It is episode 25 of the TO Sports Talk podcast. I'm Evan Brown. You're James Price, host of TO Sports Talk, and it is a beautiful evening here in Toronto, a little bit cooler than before. Back in the regular studio, and there's a lot to talk about.
We're going to start with the Blue Jays, and a lot of crazy things going along with this team as of late. Obviously, we're all talk of Vladdy Jr., as we always do. That's just like a weekly thing when it comes to the podcast. And we'll talk about the youngsters coming up to play with the Blue Jays. And obviously, Jays fans, we're under 50 games away from the season ending. But September's rolling along, and that's when the fun stuff starts.
And also for the Leafs, we're going to be talking about comparable contracts depending RFAs on the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're going to be breaking down contracts around the league, news around the league, and so it should be good for the Leaf segment.
And for the Raptors, we'll get a sober analysis on the Greg Monroe signing for the Toronto Raptors. Obviously happened on the podcast last week. And we were kind of jacked up about it at the start, but now we get to take an actual sober analysis about what he will really bring to this team, what he's not good at, what he is good at, and of course, season's just a month away. We'll be talking about that as well. And of course, around the league, because, hey, like I said before, we're 1 month away from tip-off, or I guess like a month and a half, or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to start off with the Toronto Blue Jays.
And questions afterwards.
Well, of course.
Yes.
Of course. And we're going to start with the Blue Jays. That's where we're going to put it, as we have been all summer, really, except for...
By the way, this is going to be a long segment.
This is going to be a pretty long segment.
We're just warning you guys, if you're not a Blue Jays fan, skip it. But if you are, sit back, relax, get some snacks, popcorn, a drink or two.
Hey, that'd be nice. Get a beer, maybe?
I got water right here.
Okay.
I wish I had a brewski.
We both do. I mean, it's a Tuesday afternoon or evening, I guess. So
can't get that lit.
No, not right now. Wait till Friday or Saturday, then you'll have a good time.
Maybe even Sunday.
I mean, depending if you work Monday or not. But hey, you never know. Have a good time every single day.
It's 6 o'clock somewhere.
Live every day to the fullest. That's what we say.
There you go.
And so we're going to start off with the Jays. And you know what? We'll start right off the bat with Vladdy Jr. I think we all have to start with that, and we'll kind of mesh that into another topic as well. Yeah. So we're gonna start with Vladdy, and just this past week he was named Player of the Week in AAA.
He's tearing it up down there.
I think it was in his tenure down there, which I mean he hit .395. 4 home runs in 4 games. That's what he did at some point in time. He's walked 8 times in 8 games.
I wonder why.
Tells you right there. Yeah. No pitchers want to see him. And apparently in one of those games where... Actually, I think it was his first game. I heard it on the radio that in his first game where he walked 3 times, that pitcher he was facing was just in the big leagues like a week prior. Tells you right there.
Well, he did get sent down for a reason.
Yeah, but you were in the big leagues for a reason, right? Yeah. So it tells you right there, people are scared of him, and I don't blame him. He's got one heck of an eye at the plate, and a lot of Jays fans are going crazy. Why aren't you calling this guy up? And obviously with Solarte, probably going to hit the disabled list. Hasn't as of yet, technically, but he's going to be out for a little while. That is a lot of third basemen gone. You've got Brandon Drury gone, obviously Donaldson gone, Solarte gone.
All injured. All injured. Okay.
Right, they're all on the DL at some point.
Brendan Drury's injured?
Yeah, he actually. Well, we'll get to him in a second.
Okay,
I want to break that down a little bit about how that.
So with Vladdy G, third baseman,
right? You'd think that would be everyone thinking, here he comes, here comes Vladdy, and they decide not to. They decide, okay, we'll put Russell at third base, and we'll call up third-ranked prospect in the Jays organization, Danny Jansen. And 10th ranked prospect, Sean Reid-Foley.
So question for you. When the Atlanta Braves prospect, what's his name again?
Acuna Jr.?
Acuna Jr.
Right.
Did he get a full year of AAA baseball, or was he AA and he just got straight up to the bigs?
He was in AAA, I'm pretty sure, to start this season. Right. So if you look at it kind of in that perspective, he was, I think if Vladdy was healthy all year, I think he'd be in the big leagues. But because he had that month where he was injured... There's no reason to rush him.
Because that's the really only player I can compare of that's on the bigs right now, Acuna Jr.
I think you absolutely can.
Yeah.
And
kind of similar. Is he a third baseman?
No, I think he's an outfielder. I think he is. But the guy's he's a freak. He's amazing.
Vladdy's a freak too.
Exactly.
Right.
And
those were 1 and 2 prospects in the league when Acuna Jr.
I think
was
going
down.
into the season, or at least midway through the season, or whatever it was, those were the 1-2 guys. But then Acuna got called up, and obviously when they did the re-rankings. He's not in the minors anymore, so he's not a prospect.
Vladdy won Bo's too.
Bo is 9. For the Jays, they're 1-2.
But he's 9.
9 in the whole big league. The Jays have 2 of the top 10 prospects in the game.
Jays fans, when was the last time we said that?
Bo's hitting almost 280 at AA New Hampshire. He's really come along. Yeah. He was hitting, like we talked on the podcast at one point, he was hitting 240. He was really struggling. It was a terrible time. He found a way to get out of it. And that's what good players do. Now, I wanted to jump in, and we'll talk about Danny Jansen and Sean Reid-Foley in a second here.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Let's do it. Let's talk about it now. Because, we're just going with
on a scale of 1 to 10, let's just say, Foley. How'd you like John Reid-Foley?
Well,
his debut. They debut versus Kansas?
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of Jays fans look at Kansas City like, oh, they're the worst offense in the game. And he did struggle at times. So you look at that, and you're like, ooh, I don't know about this. It's his first big league start.
Yeah.
He is 22 years of age. There's no need to rip on this kid.
He's just getting his feet wet.
And so, what did we see from Sean Reid-Foley? What did you get out of that start? Well, you see that he throws 95 to 97. That's obviously a good sign right there. Put in perspective, Ryan Brucky's been so good, and he can't even touch 95. No knock to him, because he's an unbelievable pitcher.
Is he a lefty or a righty?
Reid-Foley or Brucky?
Reid-Foley.
He's righty. Brucky's a lefty. So that's obviously good to
That's your 1-2 kind of thing.
As of right now, then you have Stroman, Sanchez if healthy, and there's 4 starters right there.
Yeah.
Will they all be the way you want them to be?
And then Estrada can, Hap's already.
Yeah, and Hap could come back next year. I mean, it could happen.
Is he?
He's still with I think he's back.
He's
actually
back with
now.
the Yankees.
I think
because I know he was on.
He was on the DL at some point for I think it was hand, foot, mouth or whatever it was.
So he did struggle. Reid-Foley did.
There were times where he did struggle, but there was 2 instances where he showed me that he's going to be a real good pitcher in this game, and it's small things. In the 4th inning, he really struggled. I think he walked 2 or 3 guys, and he had the bases loaded, nobody out. Then he walks in a run, and we're all like, oh boy, this is going to cave in for this kid. The bases are still loaded. There's nobody out.
Yeah.
This is going to go awful. He gets a pop out on the infield, and then he gets a double play. Nobody else scores. On the bases loaded, nobody out play, to find a way to get out of that, no damage. Other than
so he's probably stressing when,
of course, it's a first big.
And I'll pop out kind of like.
Apparently, after the game, he was saying that he was sweating like crazy. There, and I heard
he's a kid. He's our age.
He's 22.
He's our age.
Exactly.
That's insane.
And for everyone saying, "Well, Ryan Brucky didn't do it," he's 2 years older. So don't give me that.
He's 2 years older, and he's probably a better pitcher. I'd imagine a better prospect. No,
well, I mean it's hard to say.
It's hard to say, but down there, he was realized as the better pitching prospect down at AA.
Being top 10 or Brucky or Sean Reid-Foley.
Well, that's who I'm comparing to.
Oh, both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when it's a lefty and a righty, and they're different ages. But you look at both of them, and I mean, they're both very good pitchers.
But Ryan Brucky was seen to be with the higher ceiling, or
just the way he kind of skyrocketed through the system.
And he's older.
Yeah, the way he skyrocketed through the system in the last couple seasons.
We drafted him.
Yeah, it was a late round, and he's been in the minors for 4 or 5 years, but because he had a couple injuries and he just didn't really have his stuff, and then he changed a couple things, and then everything clicked for him. And that's really all it takes for a pitcher, is finding that comfort level.
So our starting rotation is set for the future. Now, for the relievers, it's obviously a different story.
Yeah, it's all over the place. I mean,
with Osuna gone.
I just want people... He struggled in almost every outing he's been in, but his last outing, and that was his first actual save opportunity, he went 1, 2, 3.
Personally, I think Ken Giles was just a guy who Houston wanted to get off their roster
couldn't agree more.
And said, okay, you have to take this guy for the trade to go through with Roberto Osuna. I can't see us because he's a pending RFA.
No, he still has 2 more years of control.
Oh,
that's why I'm like, that's why I want to have Jays fans actually give him a chance.
You could see him being buried. I feel like he's going to get buried in AAA. I can't see him staying with this team long term. But that's just my opinion.
I mean, I want to give him an actual chance.
Because
this season is going nowhere, so I'm going to give him a shot.
But
what I've noticed with this guy is that in save situations, he's dynamite. In non-save situations, he's awful. And who was the same type of way? Roberto Osuna. People think, he was the best closer in Jays history. You know why? Because he was thrown in safe situations.
So John Gibbons has to realize that maybe you should put Giles in these types of situations where you're down by, or like you're down by a couple runs or whatnot, and you need good pitching. So don't throw him out there when you have the lead.
Right, especially when you don't need to, right? No. And the crazy thing is, I think the reason why he's being thrown out there in non-safe situations is probably for one, to give him some work, which clearly hasn't worked for him yet.
No, because he's put under stress.
Clearly. I mean, he pitched a great game in his last game, a 2-1 game against, I think it was the Tampa Bay Rays. It was a 2-1 game.
We lost that series, didn't we?
We lost that series. We won that game. But yeah, we did lose the series. So it's weird because, you know, I understand why Gibbons throws guys out like that in 4-run games because
it's a safe lead, quote unquote.
3 runs is a safe situation. Anything more is not a safe. That's what it is. I mean, that's what anything like 1, 2, or 3 runs difference.
So if you're up by 3, it's safe.
Up by 3, it's a safe situation.
Up by more, it's not.
Right. 3 is the maximum it can be.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you're just finishing a game, and that's whatever. It doesn't count as a stat.
Okay. So if you're up by 2 runs, would you throw
1,
him
2,
out
or
there?
3, it's a safe situation.
No. But like I'm saying for Ken Giles, if you're up by 3 runs, would you put him out there?
Yeah, it's a safe situation.
Okay.
Absolutely. 2 runs? Yeah, same thing. 1 run? Absolutely. Those are safe situations.
4 runs?
No.
Because
it's not a safe situation. And, well, I mean, you never know, but statistically yes, that's really what it's shown for him.
So you were saying give him a chance. And actually, guys, that'd be a nice question, if you will. Tweet us, do you think Ken Giles could be a part of this rebuild?
I mean, I know.
Personally, I don't think so.
I know on the channel when he's blown a few. I mean, I know Jays fans have been all over him. Guys, we've seen him for 4 outings.
Yeah,
you really
same
can't.
thing with Randall Gritchick when
exactly.
It took a long time.
Jays fans don't. As much as I love Jays fans, and I'm one as well, we don't give players a lot of time.
Not really Jays fans. I guess just fans in general with baseball. Look at Stanton when he went through that terrible run with the Yankees.
But you know Giancarlo Stanton. I'm sorry, that's a different.
No, I get it, but it doesn't really matter the skill level of player. If a player is doing bad, that like people know that he could be doing much better. I think
the reason why, and with Stanton, I don't think anybody was worried because he is Giancarlo Stanton. Mm-hmm. I get that. I know. I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But for guys like a Randall Gritchick who's coming to a new team where a lot of people don't really know who he is, and same with the lines of Ken Giles, hardcore, like casual Jays fans, not sure who he is at the beginning. So then they see him get lit up a few times, like, who's this scrub? Right? And for hardcore Jays fans, hardcore baseball fans,
well, they
give players a chance,
and they've seen what Ken Giles did on the on Houston, and they've seen what Randall Gritchick did on the Cardinals. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So with these players, they're bound to bounce back. I get that. I understand that. But will they?
Well, I mean, the only time
they have the chance to.
Exactly. Look, Giles has the stuff. He's got a nasty curveball. His fastball touches 99 to 100.
Is it just up here, mental?
It's that and where he's placing the ball. If you're throwing 99 down the middle of the plate, you just got to meet bat to baseball, and that's going a long way. Yeah. That's why Roberto Osuna was so good. He could throw quality strikes all the time. But you know, it's just the way it goes.
And it's sad that we're comparing these two players, but I mean,
they're both in the same situation, and they were traded for each other.
Yeah,
so,
pretty much.
I mean,
I really don't like doing that. But,
no, I hate it too. I absolutely hate it too.
But this is the only guy we can really compare because, like you just said, we traded pretty much 1-for-1 and a couple prospects going on our end, but pretty much, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, still Jays fans. See, look, do we really think of Roberto Osuna now? The trade's done. It was terrible at the beginning, but do we think about it anymore?
He's not playing now, is he?
He is.
Oh, is he?
He's had like 3 or 4 outings now.
How's he doing?
He had 3 clean innings in his first 3, then he gave up a run in his last start.
Of course, we're always going to, because, again, how much promise he had, how young he was, we're always going to have that in, you know, and he's still in the AL. It's not like he went to the NL.
Look, when the Jays get good again, no one's going to care. Right? No one's going to care.
It just sucks because we could have got so much better and faster with him on this roster.
Yeah, I agree. But with that court case in September,
I agree. We had to drop the ball. We had to drop the ball.
They had to do it, and a lot of Jays fans saying, you didn't have to do it. Well, then what?
Baseball second, life first.
But then, guys, everyone's saying Shapiro and Atkins, we want his head because they traded away Roberto. So what if they kept him and they let him play and nothing happened? We'd be on his head because of that, too.
It's a lose-lose situation pretty much.
For them, for Shapiro and Atkins, of course it is.
Because I think they played it out in the best possible way.
Yep.
They didn't really comment when they were asked about Osuna. They didn't really comment, or they just said, he's in the bullpen. He's going to be pitching, whatever. They just kind of shut the media up, and it worked out because it just... I wasn't really expecting it to be traded because there was no rumors.
No, I didn't really expect it either.
And then they did it, and I feel like they played it out as best as they could as GMs.
Yep.
And they did a great job of doing it under the circumstances of the whole court case.
And they still got, Houston's top 10 prospect. They got...
which he's hurt.
No,
Isn't he
the
hurt?
other guy is the ranked 24th or whatever,
Okay.
David Paulino. But the other guy, he's pitching in Double-A,
Yeah.
and he's only 22 years old. And you got Ken Giles, who a guy you never know what can happen with him. I'm still trying to give him a chance. I know he's had a rough first few outings, but he threw a clean last game. So last game he was out there. So I'm going to give him
the chance.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, really, Jays fans that want his head right now. Are we going anywhere? No. So then why are you asking for this guy to get
Let him play out the season
Yeah,
and let him feel this team and feel the fans. And
heck, Jays fans, worst case scenario, this guy could revitalize career, and as worst case scenario,
we can ship him off the trade deadline.
and get some good good for him, because relievers at this day and age are primes.
So exactly. So it's a win-win situation for the Jays, but we're just going through a tough spell with Giles and with the whole team. Now, I wanted to get into something with you which you brought up to me off air.
Well, can we one thing first before we talk about? I know what you're going to talk about.
Okay.
Is it the Donaldson spiel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about that after. I want to get to the Brandon Drury situation. I know I talked to you about the DL.
I was surprised. I had no idea he was
exactly.
Yeah.
Apparently, when the Jays acquired him, he already had something wrong.
So this is a New York Yankee voodoo kind of thing where they didn't tell the Blue Jays what was going on. Now,
I mean,
this is the problem, is that it's not really their fault. It's more our fault, the training staff, for not looking into this player before we acquired him.
They had him off the DL. The Yankees did.
No, but as a team that you're trading to, you're going to have to look at the guy and be like, all right, let's just make sure you pass your physical, everything's good.
Well, he clearly did pass his physical.
So
I don't know. I don't know how it all occurred. I don't know how bad it was. Maybe it wasn't all that bad, and they just wanted to get it fixed.
Maybe he re-injured something when he was playing.
He did get hit on the hand.
So there you go.
But they said it was something that happened with you. Anyways, I'm not even going to get into how it happened or whatever, but he was on the DL right now, and that was just an interesting thing hearing that it happened before the trade. I'm like, that's quite interesting, actually.
It is.
But you know what? He's been struggling at the plate all year long. That could have been a reason why. Well, then he comes back off the DL maybe at the end of August and early September, and then bang, he rips up the end of the year. That'd be great.
This would be a total New York Yankees thing to do, where they cheat away the trade and acquire J. Happ or a guy who was injured.
Happ goes on the DL, so.
No, if Happ goes on the DL, the Yankees are going to be like, well, you traded Happ and he was already injured and blah, 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 reactivated injury, right?
Speaking of having beers on a Tuesday night, I mean,
Yankees fans, no, you guys are awesome. We're just playing around.
Yeah, honestly, and it's weird. I mean, I don't know.
Red Sox fans, on the other hand?
See, that's what I was just going to get to.
Yeah.
You know, you think as Jays fans and baseball fans, you'd hate the Yankees, and you'd hate the Red Sox. Well, do I hate the Yankees? I mean, just because the name the New York Yankees, I mean, I guess you're
I don't hate their fans at all.
I don't really. I mean, I haven't.
Because I remember the first video of this season you posted, there was a bunch of Yankee fans saying, other Jays are blah, 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 whatever.
Right. And they were solid comments. So you get Red Sox, and you're like, this team's go Sox. Like, yeah, all right, go Red Sox. Good for you.
I mean, it's always the same thing. Our Bruins beat your Leafs. The Celtics are going to be better than your Raptors.
Yeah,
and now,
this is a baseball video, bud, so take it easy.
Exactly. So, shout out to all the Yankee and Oakland A fans.
Yeah, I mean, I got to talk. Actually, let's put a segue right into that. The Oakland A's are in the wild card spot, the second wild card spot, 2.5 games above the Seattle Mariners. Now, the question I have for you, and it's quite interesting, actually.
Actually, I'm going to bring up the standings right now.
Yeah, you go do that, because I want to talk about something. Everyone's talking about Boston and New York being the top two teams in the American League East, our division, right?
Yep.
That's what it is. But the New York Yankees have fallen hard, and the Oakland A's are flying. I think it is very possible that come playoff time, the New York Yankees are in the second wild card spot and playing in Oakland for the wild card game.
Okay, so Seattle
Mariners...
It's
a 3.5 game difference. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so it's pretty much set where you have the Mariners at 69 and 51. Then you have Oakland at 71 and 48. Yep. And then you have the New York Yankees at 74 and 44. So not far behind. Obviously, Cleveland is in a horrendous division.
Now the thing about Oakland, they're in a weird. Actually, let's stop there. Let's not talk about around the league yet, because we want to talk about Josh Donaldson.
We'll talk about that last because we're already into it.
Yeah.
So, our question is to you guys, which you already mentioned: can Oakland do the unthinkable? Personally, I mean,
the way
the Yankees are always going to be the. I mean, they weren't terrible. In their last 10, they were 6-4. Right.
But their ace starter, Luis Severino, has been terrible. In his last 8 starts, he has given up 3 or more runs. He has not had a Luis Severino type of stretch.
How's Sonny Gray doing with them?
Terrible. What's his ERA? 5 something?
Yeah.
5.52. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's bad.
Put that into perspective. Jaime Garcia is just around that area. Maybe a little bit. It's more than that, but it's
He's
not.
He's still an extremely good pitcher.
Agreed. But you don't want to be going into the playoffs having a tough time.
Of a 327. Yeah,
right, and for most of the season, it was in the 2s, and earlier in the year, it was in the 1s. Right. He's having a terrible time. But with Oakland, everybody's firing on all cylinders. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 3 straight. They're beating the team behind them. They crushed them 7-1 last night. I mean, this is crazy. They're having everybody contribute. Jays fans, we saw it firsthand. They swept us, and it looked pretty darn easy.
Yeah.
A's fans, I want to see them in the first wildcard spot and playing at the Coliseum. I mean, it's not a great place to play. I understand that. Sorry, A's fans, but I think you guys can attest to that.
It's not a good place to play. It's old and whatever.
But I would love to see the Yankees go in there for the wildcard game.
So right now it would be the Yankees versus Oakland in New York.
Right now it would be.
Okay,
yes.
So if Oakland jumps them, it would be in Oakland, and then
right.
It'd be nice, honestly.
And put that. I guess another thing you want to look at. What is that? 6 games back are the Seattle Mariners of the Yankees, so that's quite interesting.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say that. So you never. That would be. I mean, that'd be kind of a greasy wild card game. The Mariners first.
That would be crazy.
The Oakland A's.
And I'm pretty sure Robinson Cano can't even play.
No, he can't play.
He's off the thing now. I think he's coming off today. I think it is.
Yeah, let me just see news.
Is his thing?
First career start. No, he's starting.
Well, at first base, he's been playing first base. You can tell how much in shambles that team is right now. And he can't even play in the playoffs.
Isn't Nelson Cruz hurt, too?
I don't know. Is he?
No, he's not.
No, D. Gordon, that's a tough one.
Yeah, D. Gordon's hurt.
But just getting away from that, Seattle's in a tough spot right now. They had that second wildcard spot locked up for quite a while. It was like 7-8 games.
We didn't sweep them, but we won.
We won the series. I think it was 3-1 actually.
And I'm sorry, but that's a team. That's a team you have to beat the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm sorry, Jays fans, but if the Seattle Mariners want to make the wild card,
of course,
you need to beat us.
And you think about the way the Jays were back in 15 and 16. Every time we saw a team under 500 at that time, we're like, we got to take these guys to town, and we did.
Yeah.
And the A's fans, that's what they're thinking right now.
Yeah. Now,
the crazy thing about the National League, and I got to talk about this real quick.
Okay.
The Dodgers are out of a playoff spot.
Yeah, that's weird with the addition of Machado.
He hasn't been that good.
Again, he's going to bounce back because it's Manny Machado. He's going to bounce back.
But it is middle to late August.
It is, and he wants to get paid, so I can see him staying with the Dodgers, in my opinion. Now, okay, it'd be interesting. Will he stay with the Los Angeles Dodgers if they do not make the playoffs? Well, it's close because it's a very...
It's 2.5 games back from the Philadelphia Phillies, but, I mean...
Listen, the NL's all over the place.
They had the division locked up a while ago, and they have fallen
hard. They lost 4 straight, 3-7.
They have not been good.
No, they haven't.
And that's quite interesting to look at.
That is interesting, but I wouldn't take that. I feel like they're going to bounce back, in my opinion.
I mean, I think so, but will they bounce back enough to pass those teams up in the playoff spot right now? Now they got to chase
It's close,
teams.
Though. Well, chase teams by what? A game and a half back?
Those are those 2 teams. You also have the Cardinals. You also have the Rockies that are ahead of them.
True. I get that.
So it's like the Jays back, I think it was last year. Yeah, we were 6 back at the wild card spot. We're like, well, this isn't too bad, but there's 4 teams ahead of you.
No, I get it. But realistically, I can't see them catching the Brewers. They're 68 and 54. The Phillies, they're in arm's reach of. They're only...
Well, look at I guess they're only 3 back of the Milwaukee Brewers, or the Dodgers. They're 2.5 back of the Phillies, and the Phillies are only half a game up on Milwaukee. So it's only 3
You
back.
never know.
You never know, but it's a story right now that the Dodgers, after making that trade for Machado, have fallen
and
out of a playoff
they were doing so
spot.
good before the trade, so that just proves that you don't know until you trade for somebody. But I can see him bouncing back this season.
It's Manny Machado.
Right. So do you want to get into the JD stuff?
Yeah. Let's talk about Josh Donaldson. Now, I saw a report today that... No, I'm not gonna quote it word for word.
No.
Do you
want to quote the people who said it, or just leave that
what was his
anonymous?
Name? Yeah. No, I can put his name in here.
It was on Tim and Sid, wasn't it?
Well, I did hear it there. Let me try and find it here. Article.
But I mean, Josh Donaldson. is he still has the qualifying offer.
Right.
So, and it's going to be for 12 mil-ish?
It's around that
line.
Okay,
so this is an interesting topic about if he's going to sign the qualifying offer.
So it's Richard Griffin of the Toronto Star who wrote this article, and it says why Josh Donaldson is no longer part of the Blue Jays' future. And that right there is a bold statement, but, I mean, he backs it up the entire way. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay, so basically, he's saying that if the Jays were going to offer him
the crazy thing is
the qualifying offer, right? Will JD take it? I do not think so. 12 mil is a lot for the production that he produced, aka lack of production, I should say. So, do you think that he's going to accept it, or do you think that he's going to bank on free agency? Because if I were him, I would take it and then prove yourself next season. But about the whole Vladdy G thing.
Well, that's the thing.
And that's a third baseman.
Will they even give him the qualifying offer? And that's the part that I'm like, whoa, that's a big statement right there.
Because I'm sorry, next year, Vladdy G, he cannot stay in AAA. He has to be up on the bigs.
And look, Jays fans, we got to have a real talk here. Because I know Jays fans love Josh Donaldson for what he's done in the past. But don't be upset.
We're getting somebody
if he leaves at the end of the season. And the question I have for you, Jays fans, and message us on Twitter. The link is in the description, guys, for Twitter. So follow up, send DMs, and all that great stuff. But I want you guys to send us DMs or mention us on Twitter. Would you be upset, disappointed, mad, whatever, if Josh Donaldson leaves the team at the end of the season for nothing?
I'll probably tweet it out.
Would you?
Would I? No, because you're not. See, I would love to get at least something back for him at the trade deadline, but I could see where you're coming from, where what team would give up something for a guy who may not even play this season. So, with Josh Donaldson, I feel like the time has come and gone for him. If I were him, I would accept it, but you have to realize he'd be probably playing out of position or splitting starts with Vladdy G.
And that's the thing. Do you want Vladdy G to split time?
Does he want to split time? Absolutely not. But does Vladdy G? Maybe. If Vladdy G learns from Josh Donaldson, I mean, I don't really think he needs to learn, but that'd be a good mentor in my opinion.
But is Josh Donaldson wanting to do that?
I don't.
You know what I mean?
I don't. Maybe he wants the thing.
And this is only if the Jays offer him the qualifying. They might not even, because of the bad year, he might take that qualifying offer. So Jays management is probably thinking, okay, well, I'm not sure if we want him to accept it, so do we even give it to him?
Right. Josh Donaldson has to be thinking, okay, can I really make more money in free agency than my qualifying offer? I don't think so. And this is for 1 year, too.
And teams are going to have to pay him a pretty buck. Why? Because he wants it. And the crazy thing is, are teams willing to do that?
I mean,
look at Edwin Encarnacion. The guy's been healthy and he's a stud. But his price dropped dramatically.
Right. And for him, I feel like it's not too much the dollar amount, because when he's on, he's worth every single penny.
When he's on, key thing.
But it's term. The term with him, he's not old, but he is injury prone for the last 2 seasons, and it's only going to get worse.
Yep.
When you're injured as this much as Josh Donaldson is, right?
Yep.
Every year is going to be a struggle for him, because every year you get older. Every year, your injuries start piling up. It's just with age. It's natural. So with Josh Donaldson, guys, I see he'd be smart, and I think he wants to take the qualifying offer, but I don't think the Jays are going to offer it to him.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. Because like you said, in the farm system, they have a third baseman ready to be called up tomorrow.
So if I had to answer my own question and say, would I be angry if Josh Donaldson walks to free agency? No, I wouldn't be upset at all. Because those Jays fans that are upset about him leaving are not actual Jays fans. Well, they're Jays fans from the bandwagon in 2015, 2016 who saw those 2 years of Donaldson and thought, wow, this guy is unbelievable. But you have the new regime coming.
Yeah.
And Vladdy G is that guy.
And it's just the fact, I think it's more of an emotional attachment to Josh Donaldson than it is production. I'm sorry. Josh Donaldson has not performed at all. even has been healthy, as you Jays fans know. So I think it's just it's tough because he's been unbelievable with this team. He was Toronto. He still is Toronto, even if he leaves this city. But guys, you have to move on. And like you say, the bandwagoners are off from 2015, 2016, and guys, you're gonna have look what we have in the farm system that can replace Josh Donaldson tomorrow.
Josh Donaldson played a total of 36 games this year.
And what was his ERA?
His average was batting average was .234, 5 home runs. I mean, he wasn't all that great.
When he's on, guys, he's on. And a team that is thinking about signing him, you guys have to listen. He's a great player. He's great in the locker room. Everything's great about him. Attitude issues maybe a little bit towards the umps sometimes, but that's with most players. It's just injuries. He's not old, but you may have dead salary on your team.
Yeah, and that's where the Jays organization is thinking, should we even offer this guy?
And is he going to be 100% when free agency comes rolling around in next season?
If Josh Donaldson is not healthy at all for the rest of the season for the Toronto Blue Jays,
good luck getting I don't even know how much he would want per year.
I don't know. And if he does, whoever team that is nuts.
Yeah.
For an aging guy who barely played at all last season, and it was his calf or it was his hamstring, his leg, bottom line. In baseball, your legs are extremely important.
In any sport, your legs are important.
Really. So when anything happens to your legs, you're like, ooh, is he actually going to bounce back?
And the age doesn't help either, 32 years old. I could see if he was 26, 27, all right.
Yeah.
But the age doesn't help.
That's why Devin Travis has we've given him some time to kind of figure things out, obviously being out the last few years, and he's played most of this season,
right? And
he's hitting over 250. He's having a good season this year. So you look at that situation, and you look at the way it's a very intriguing one.
Yeah, and again, guys, tweet at us. I'll probably tweet it out maybe if you guys haven't. Would you be mad if we basically let JD walk for nothing? I don't think you guys will be. We're not gonna be, but opinions are always nice. Right, so
we just can't reminisce about 2015. You can, but don't be upset. Don't be mad that he's leaving or upset because he's leaving in college. Pyro and Atkins, idiots, because of those 2 years.
See, I can see if we won a championship with him,
but
you can reminisce.
But even that, you still can't be upset about the situation.
No, you can't because you have to move forward, and it's not 2015, 2016 anymore. We're going into 2019. You guys have to move on.
We're St. Louis Cardinals fans really upset when Pujols went to LA? Probably.
Do you really want to be the Oakland A's thinking about the 90s again? No. You guys want to move forward, and we want to do that. And we want to win a championship.
And speaking of moving forward, the Jays, the young regime is coming. I mean, I'm going to run through the young guys right now. Real quick while we wrap this up.
Yeah.
Hernandez, 25. Thomas Pannone been in the bullpen for the Jays through a clean inning yesterday. 25. Yeah. Lourdes Gurriel, 24. Baraki, 24. Stroman and Sanchez. I think Stroman's 27.
Well, you
Sanchez
can't really
like
call
25.
them young regime.
Well, they're young. I feel like
the prospects that were brought up.
Okay. So Pannone, Hernandez, Baraki, Sean Reid-Foley, Danny Jansen. Brandon Drury's only 25 as well.
Now, would you say that we haven't really scratched the surface of the prospect pool with the Jays?
You haven't even called up your top 1 and 2 prospects.
So Jays fans, I don't even think we've scratched the surface yet.
You have not seen Bo or Vladdy yet. You've seen Gurriel, and that kid is going to be on this team for a very long time. Just a matter of where he's going to play. Because his natural position is shortstop. Well, Bo Bichette kind of plays there, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
Or they could fight for a spot. We don't know. Or maybe split
second base. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens
next season.
And then you have Vladdy at 3 bag. I mean, this team could look very good in the next 2 to 3 seasons, depending on.
I think that was actually a question.
Well, we'll get to that in the questions.
Well, Jays fans, we have only, 50 more games left?
Under that now. Where I think yesterday was game 118. Today's game is delayed. It should have started at 8:15. Hasn't started yet, so we'll have to wait. It might be a late one, Jays fans. I apologize for that one.
Against the Kansas City Royals. Who's going to be out that game? Barely anybody.
Yep, it's not the good old days where you have that greasy guy.
Oh yeah, the guy that was doing
the greasy guy at the ball game in the playoffs where he reached over with his glove and everyone wanted his head. So he's not even there anymore because he was a bandwagoner probably.
And we're not.
No, of course not.
Well, you can't really say that.
We are TO Sports Talk. And that's it. That's it.
And he's Amish. Shout out to
I'm doing 162 darn Jays videos for this team. I mean, it is difficult.
Yeah.
But there's times where it gets fun, like last night.
And that guy did look a little bit Amish.
He did.
So.
But we're not gonna get into that. That was many years ago now. So
let's just move forward, Jays fans, and let's not reminisce.
Moving forward,
yes,
the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I see.
Training camp is a month away, dude.
Yeah, I know,
or less than that now, I guess.
And the William Nylander contract is still not sorted out now. If you want, you can go on your app of choice, if you will. Dylan Larkin got signed for, it was 5x6, so 5 years at $6 million per. That's a contract comparable to William Nylander. He had, I would say, a breakout year.
Is that what you want me to go for?
The score.
Oh, the score. Okay, what do you want me to look up? Come on,
Dylan Larkin, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, I have his Hockey DB page. God dang.
Okay,
come on.
All right, so Dylan Larkin. Okay, so Dylan Larkin.
He had 63 points in 82 games.
Mind you, most of those were assists, but 16 goals.
He hasn't scored more than 20 goals since his rookie year, where he had 23.
Well, William Nylander, I don't think scored more than 25.
Yeah, didn't score more than 20 last year. But
but the year before.
And the thing you got to look at is that Dylan Larkin is a center. Nylander's a winger.
Yeah.
Centers get paid more usually, correct?
Right, and I think, arguably, Dylan Larkin is more important to the Red Wings than William Nylander is to the Leafs.
I think in general, yeah.
Because
he's that young regime, he's that young guy.
And plus, the Red Wings don't really have anybody else besides him. Maybe Zadina and Mantha.
FNCU, maybe. It's a stretch, but it's a maybe.
Top 9 for it. Personally, I think it's Larkin, Mantha, Zadina, and there's maybe one other guy in there, but. With William Nylander, he knows this team is going to be a Stanley Cup contender this season, so he might have to take a pay cut. And personally, I think the Tom Wilson contract threw everybody off.
Oh, I think it did, for sure. You don't have a grinder / enforcer. He can still put the puck in the net, of course, and he's got great skill. But you don't pay a guy like that who never had 40 points.
No.
You do not pay a guy that much money. Unless they have 100% faith that at some point in his career he will do that. But that is risky.
But we already talked about that. Now, obviously Nylander's agent is saying, well, my client wants is maybe twice the production of Tom Wilson. So we're looking at $7.5
But then you look at Dylan Larkin's contract.
Right.
That's
so
a different thing.
Because that's a good contract. The Larkin contract is a good contract for the Red Wings. They played it smart. $6 million is a solid contract, and I would love to see him get that as well.
Nylander. Yeah, right. I do agree, and I think it's going to be between the $6 million to $7.5. I think that's where it's going to. Hear me out, because I think they want him back, but I think that's the range.
Well, I think that's what his agent wants. That's is $7.5.
He wants that. The Leafs probably want to give him that. They'll meet somewhere in the middle, probably $6.5, maybe closer to $7. But I don't know.
No, because I don't even think it's a month away. It's what 2-3. It's like 2 weeks away. Training camp.
It's in September somewhere. I don't know when exactly.
It's the middle of August. It's August 15th tomorrow.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Or is it August 15th today? Or no,
14th today.
It's the 14th today. So it's flying by, guys. But I mean, I'm not nervous. We've been talking about this throughout every podcast.
It'll get done.
It'll happen. But yeah, I mean, well, that Larkin contract, it's a good comparable.
It is a very good comparable. They're not around the same age. I think Larkin's a little bit older.
Yeah.
But again, same amount of points range. He had 68. Nylander, I think, had just over 60. Again, they're different style of player and they played a different position. But you look at the type of contract, and you're like, yeah, I kind of expect that.
Well, they're both not really style. I mean, they're both extremely fast. Maybe Larkin more of a playmaker, but they're pretty much the same player, in my opinion. Same size, pretty much the same player.
And being a center and being a winger does make a difference.
It does make a difference. Centers are obviously more valuable, right? And
that's why the Tom Wilson contract makes even more no sense to anybody. But
no, but his production in the playoffs maybe. But me and you already talked about that.
Now, staying with the whole contract situation,
right?
Mitch Marner is a very, very. We know what we're going to give Austin Matthews, whether he does amazing this year or not. You know what you're going to get.
Mitch Marner's interesting because he's in the middle of Austin Matthews and Nylander.
Absolutely. And the question is, do the Leafs try and sign him this season in the offseason, or do they wait till he's played a year with flipping John Tavares?
Well, I already talked about this with you on the last podcast.
Well, briefly want to discuss this right now.
Scoring's going to influx, but someone's going to drop. The puck can only go to so many players. So Mitch Marner may have
He might have like an 80 assist season. It wouldn't surprise me with Marlowe and Tavares on the same line.
True. Or you could see a little bit of a drop where he only gets 65 points. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but you never know. Because, again, John Tavares is going to have a puck a lot. Ice time is going to be a premium with this team. So you could see Mitch drop off. Not because his production is lowered, it's because he's not getting the puck enough.
Right.
And that's what I wanted to talk about. It's like, whether he signs it this year or not, we kind of know. I mean, not really know, but we... In the ballpark, personally, I think of between 9 and 8 mil.
For Mitch Marner.
Yeah,
I tend to agree. I mean, I if they can find a way to get him in the 7 somewhere...
That'd be nice, but just seeing what he can produce on the ice and how he can control the player...
Well, that's different, right? If you sign him now, could you possibly get him for in that 7 range? And if you give him a year with John Tavares... Will that go up even more?
Listen, Mitch Marner, I feel like when he's on and he's skating in his own end, he's the best Maple Leaf. He's better than Austin Matthews with the puck. Skating in his own end.
The way Marner moves the puck is phenomenal.
Exactly. So, that being said, he knows what he's worth in this season or next season. It's not going to change the price.
And the thing I love about this team is that the three-headed monster are all different players. Austin Matthews is a very good defensive center.
Yeah.
He is continuously getting better on the face-off dot. He's got a great shot. His passing...
He has size. He has
the size, obviously.
Yeah.
And passing-wise, again, we haven't seen a whole lot of amazing passes from Matthews, but I think he makes a solid pass.
Marner, I mean, you just talked
Marner,
about...
we talked about it. Smaller guy, but he's got the great speed, quick hands, unbelievable
More of a
passing.
passer. I wish he would shoot more.
Nylander, I think, has got a little bit of everything, but defensively, not so sure about
But the shot?
But his shot is great. They all have different aspects. I think that's why they work so well together.
They have aspects that complement weaknesses with each other.
That's why it works so much. That's why it works so well.
Exactly. And,
now, sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
I have a projected lineup here, but the top 2 lines were confirmed by Mike Babcock.
Really?
They were 100% confirmed. The top 6 has already been
this.
confirmed by Babcock. It has already been done.
This is, what source is this? The Leaf Nation News _. Oh, well, that's a pretty reliable source.
Look, I'm just going off of what I see. If this is legit, this is actually the thing.
Well, Leaf fans, you heard it from James Price first. If Mike Babcock does not have these first 2 lines in opening night, you can blame James Price off TO Sports Talk.
There you go. I mean, look.
So this is your... Okay, all right, go ahead.
This is Mike Babcock, all right?
Oh,
I'm reading this right now.
Okay, so James Price is saying it. Go ahead.
Okay. And the question I think everybody's going to have, and this guy actually did post on his story saying, look, I know everybody's saying that Hyman is never going to have a Matthews, but it was confirmed in all caps by Mike Babcock. So it's not like this guy was just throwing this out there and said it was confirmed.
All right, so you're throwing it out there to the fans.
There you go.
Go ahead.
You know what? I'm just going to do that because you're just being a pain in the rear end right now. Because look at this. Let's see if I can look at it.
No. I don't...
See?
Oh, okay, so Chris Johnston said it then.
Right, but this guy...
So a reliable source.
I never saw this thing by Chris Johnson, but here it is. This is how Mike Babcock currently envisions the top 2 lines.
Okay, go ahead.
This is what he looks like.
Go ahead.
Marlowe, Matthews, Nylander. No Zach Hyman on that first line.
Okay.
For the first time in 2 years.
And personally, I would like that better than Zach. Then,
Hyman, Tavares, Marner. What you got on that first line is you've got a great shot.
You've got great speed and you got great grit. Great grit in Zach Hyman.
And I love that second line. Or whatever you want to call it.
Listen, they could switch up.
1A, 1B. There you go.
Exactly. You're going to love both lines, but it's interesting.
I think Hyman on that second line is going to complement it so well. Tavares is great. When he's an amazing player all around.
Yeah.
I love Hyman because he gets in the great. With Hyman, he can get the puck to Mitch Marner. And once you do that...
Marner can give the puck to Tavares.
And then the rest is history.
Okay. So it's interesting that you're saying this because I feel like Babcock put Hyman with Matthews and Nylander because like you said, defensively wasn't the greatest with... I mean, Matthews was okay, but Willie Nee, we all knew he had struggles, and Zach Hyman great defensively.
The reason I like... Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, and then with Zach Hyman, John Tavares is I wouldn't say he's a great defensive player, but he's above average, obviously.
Right.
And then you have Mitch Marner, who's... He may take a couple shifts off, but he's not bad. So... Maybe Babcock's not too sure about Marner being really defensively good.
The reason I like this so much. You have a veteran on each line now.
Well, oh yeah,
Marleau
yeah.
and Tavares.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I didn't think of that.
Having Hyman, Matthews, and Nylander, you don't really have that vet. You got kind of all guys that have been around about the same time.
Yeah, because
now you have Marleau with Matthews and Nylander, kind of the same type of guy in a sense. You think about Marleau, great shot, great everything, and you combine Matthews and Nylander, it's kind of about what Marleau's got. So you throw him with them, it works great. Hyman, grindy as all heck. You know, you throw him with the veteran John Tavares.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm actually very excited for that.
Right.
And everybody preaching, oh, here we go, Zach Hyman is not with Matthews and Nylander, all this line is going to go down the drain because that was the driving force of that line. Quiet, all right? Let Mike Babcock do his thing. When he came as a coach, every Leaf fan's like, we're never going to question this guy. And now they are. Like, it just
you don't
always
question
happens.
a guy that's won multiple Stanley Cups. Like, Mike Babcock.
Who's the Olympic coach every darn season?
Mike Babcock. Who's the best coach in the league? Arguably, Mike Babcock.
Yeah.
Right? So, with, it's very interesting. So, last season, I think the third line was Kadri, Marner, and Marleau, if I'm not...
So, that was the second... Well,
that was... Well...
Bozak, JVR, Connor Brown as well.
And that line,
was your
we all
second
know.
or third line? I don't
Exactly. Very interesting. But, not getting away from the Leafs, but me and you were extremely happy about this. Now, I don't like to see people losing their jobs. I don't like to see anyone out of a job.
No.
But us Leaf fans and you Leaf fans know that if you watch Leaf games on weekdays...
Here we go.
You hear a certain voice. Now, whose voice is that?
Well, here comes Nylander down the wing. Scores! If anybody can put that name into context, it's flipping Paul Romanek.
Yeah.
And look, guys, and you just heard Evan say it, he is not going to be broadcasting Leaf games. Oh, I guess it's not confirmed, but it's reported, it's rumored, it's all around the place.
Which is probably going to happen because...
Probably. That's why we're saying this.
Right. So
it looks like Paul Romanek is not going to call Leaf games anymore.
So Leaf fans, does that mean Joe Bowen might be back? Again, I don't want to speculate. I don't think he'll be back. I think it's going to be a new face.
If he does, I'm probably going to cry because that is the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
That's the Holy Mackinoff.
That's the voice of the Leafs. When you think of the Leafs, you think of the commentators, who do you think of? Joe Bowen and Holy Mackinaw.
Same thing when you think of the Buffalo Sabres, who do you think of?
I forget his name, but
Rick Jarnett.
There he is. You always
Jack Edwards?
Boston Bruins. That's who you think of.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just the way it is. Jays fans, Leaf fans. We all know Joe Bowen is the voice of the Leafs, and if that can possibly happen, that would be incredible.
I don't think it is because I think that he's pretty comfortable on the radio, but I could see a new face in there. Listen, if there's a new face in there, I think he's going to be automatically better than Paul Romanek because there's been multiple instances. Romanek.
Let's have a little farewell tour, I guess, for Paul Romanek here. You know, I mean, there were so many legendary moments.
Legendary
for Paul
calls.
Romanek. And here comes Nylander. He scores! Michael Nylander. Beg your pardon there, Paul. His name's William, sir. That's his father.
Number 2 incident.
All right. Here comes Roman Polak at the point. He lets
Number
it fly.
44, Roman Polak.
He lets it fly and he scores. Sorry, bud, but that was Morgan Riley who scored.
Number 44. I mean, Polak did wear 42.
46.
Oh, was it 46?
42 was Bozak.
My bad.
And he shot the other way, and his size is different, and he looks greasier.
And the speed!
I mean, my goodness.
I mean, Polak did have a pretty accurate shot.
All right, yes, he did. He just floats it on, and it finds a corner or something.
And then the third and final call of Paul Romanek's great tenure with the Leafs.
The great moments from Paul Romanek. Here, what is it? Oh, and penalty coming up for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh, and Mike Bobcat is furious. You heard it, folks. Mike Bobcat. Wow, that is terrible. Michael Nylander, Roman Polak. I don't know, because Bobcat, it's a cat. I don't know. It kind of went with the flow there.
It's more of a lynx, but
okay,
yeah.
Well, whatever. It's a cat of some kind.
It's a feline.
It's in the family of cats.
It's a feline.
Sure, let's go with that. But you go from Roman Polak. Oh wait, no, it's Morgan Riley to Michael Nylander.
And to Mike Bobcat.
And
What a
there was
legend.
another instance. I actually totally forgot about it. I don't know what team we were facing, but apparently some father passed away or something along those lines. He got the player's father, he got the player's name wrong. So let's say, for example, I'm going to use a Leafs fan perspective. Obviously, this did not happen, but I'm just going to kind of use it for a perspective. He says how Mitch Marner's father had passed away. I know he obviously didn't, thank goodness, because Mitch Marner is Mitch Marner, and we all don't want anybody hurt. Comes back from the commercial break. Yeah, I want to apologize. It was not Mitch Marner's father. It was somebody else.
It was Curtis McElhaney's father.
That's a big mistake there, bud.
Well, and that's very disrespectful for him.
What if somebody's listening? What
if any relatives were listening? And
what if Mitch Marner's father's listening? Like,
right.
Put it into perspective, right?
So those are just 4 great moments of Paul Romanek.
But no more. I'm gonna kind of miss finding those little quirks from him.
Yeah,
but,
and of course,
I'm not gonna miss not here. Honestly,
we don't love to see anybody out of a job, right? There's some people that just do not have the voice for radio.
And I'm actually kind of shocked they let him go. I really am.
I mean, the fans hated him.
Right, but why did that happen last year? We hated him the year before, too. It was weird.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what his contract was for a couple seasons or whatever. But I'm very intrigued to see who's going to come in next.
Now, if it's Todd Crocker, the voice for the Marlies,
let's try and get somebody out of the organization to come do the Leafs game.
I don't know how they do it.
I'm not going to say that. Let's get Joe Bowen back. Hey.
Petition.
On Twitter, let's start it up. Hashtag Bowen for
TV.
Bowen for TV. Let's put it that way. BOWEN for TV. Hashtag on Twitter.
Hashtag Holy Mackinac.
We will tweet it out, and if anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about clearly doesn't listen to the podcast.
Or clearly doesn't watch the Leafs.
So there you go. Bowen for TV. Come on now.
Make it happen.
Oh, we got to make it happen. All
exactly.
Right. That was fun. That was a fun segment of the podcast.
Paul Romanek's.
Anyways, let's move on from Paul Romanek because I'm getting stressed out just talking about him. Because all I'm doing is hearing scores in my head now, and I want to get this out of my head. So let's move to the Toronto Raptors, where Jack Armstrong and Matt Devlin are still around, and I like those two guys.
Oh yeah,
I like those. They joke around and have a good time, and they actually know what they're talking about, and I think I love that about those two guys. They're fantastic, right?
Right, I do too.
So let's get to the Raptors as a team. And like we said right off the top, we were going to talk about Greg Monroe and kind of like we said, a sober analysis of that signing of Greg Monroe.
So there was Raptor fans saying that they thought, oh, he's slow, he's overweight, he's this, he's that. Guys, listen, if he's Jared Sullinger big, which I don't think he is, you guys can trade him in the offseason. No, sorry, trade deadline, whatever, release him, send him down to the G League. It doesn't matter. He's a low risk, not really high reward because you know what you're getting with him. He's not a guy that can put up 20 points.
He probably will at some point this season.
No, but averaging.
Oh, no. Yeah, God, no.
No.
But, guys, everyone who's saying that, like Evan said, you signed him to a 1-year, $2.2 million contract. It's incredible. I mean, it's fantastic. You know, I mean, he's a low-risk, high-reward type of move. And, it's just fantastic. I still feel the same way I did in our first analysis.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that can go wrong with this signing. And if there is, guys, get him out of here, release him, buy him out, whatever you guys got to... Okay, I don't think you should buy him out. But, it's 1 year, and... what other backup center options were there out there? Nothing.
Nothing at all.
This was the only guy.
To be honest, I'm shocked he was still there. At a 1-year, 2.2 for a guy who has clearly impacted teams in the past, he averaged 10 points a game with the Celtics. A guy who went this late.
I'm not really surprised because there are defensive issues. Well, not really defensive issues, but footwork problems, speed issues. He's obviously his weight factor has been shown. Right.
But he's no Jared Sullinger.
Well, he's no guy that would people sign on July 1st.
No, of course not. No, of course not. But you look at what Jared Sullinger. I mean, you look at what happened back then. He was big man. He went on obviously he was injured for most of the season when he come off of injury.
Yeah.
He was old. He was slow. He was overweight. He just didn't look good out there.
Yeah.
And the Raptors just traded him to I think it was the Phoenix Suns at the time. I don't think Greg Monroe is going to be that because he's been healthy. Sullinger obviously was not. But with Greg Monroe, I'm excited. I truly am.
I am too. I could see him being with us for only the 1 year. I can't see us. I mean, who knows?
Depending on how he does and money-wise, how much we have. I completely agree with that.
Well, we just drank a water at the exact same time, ladies and gentlemen.
And it tells when you're best friends, you do stuff at the exact same time all the time.
Right.
But it happens.
I don't know why Raptor fans are, because, guys, other than Greg Monroe, who is out there?
If you signed him to a 2-year, like, $20 million contract, then yeah, that's a problem.
Or a 2-year contract in general.
Right. You signed him to a 1-year deal at 1/3 of the money that you gave Fred VanVleet. 1/3 for 1 season.
And he can still put up 11, 12 points, 7 rebounds a game. You know what I mean?
So, and the Jays are winning by a couple runs.
This isn't the Jays segment.
No, but I'm just getting an update. They're actually winning a ball game. They scored 2 runs for the first time in like a month, it feels like.
Against the Kansas City Royals. What a great team. What a great team.
All right, so anyways, we're going to get away from how the Kansas City Royals are a great team.
Yeah.
The Baltimore.
Even almost better than Baltimore.
Almost.
Almost.
That's terrible.
Well, you know.
You have 2 teams that dude, we're 100 games in, over 100, almost 120
They haven't even
games.
had 40 wins.
No. That's awful.
Have you seen a team? Well, there was teams back in the day that
I don't know, man. This is down. They're like 80. They're like 35 and 84. Like that is. Okay. You double their wins. They're not even at their losses yet.
So it's looking rough in Kansas City and Baltimore right now.
Oh my goodness, it's terrible. All right, so back to basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just going to get away from the Kansas City Royals. Yeah, of course.
In the Baltimore Royals.
Like we said with the Leafs, training camp and preseason starts in about a month and a half or a month or so. I mean, it's crazy.
With Raptors.
That's what I'm saying, a month and a half.
Right, with Raptors and Leafs. And, you know, things are obviously slow right now with both teams, but they're obviously getting a pick up in the weeks prior. And, I just something just lost my mind about the whole podcast next week, or do you want to get into that later?
We'll get into that now, just in case people are still listening, and like when people are still listening.
Because after this question, nothing more than the Raptors.
No. We can talk a little bit more, and I kind of want to talk about Raptors' expectations for this season, and we haven't really talked about that a whole lot. We talk about our if everyone's healthy and if everyone does what we think they can, right?
Right.
I think the expectations for this season is a top 3 finish. Don't expect to be number 1 because I think Boston is just developing and getting better. But
you never know because with Gordon Hayward, is he going to break the chemistry with this team?
Well, you still have Kyrie Irving, and they were second without Kyrie Irving.
Well, we were first with
everybody healthy.
Well, with Kyrie Irving in the Boston lineup, we were first.
Well, no, we were second for when he was. He was out of the lineup for most of the season.
Wait, when he was healthy, we were second?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were first.
Well, look at the start of the season, right? They were on fire to start the year, and they were first place. But, the question I have is, right, as a team, I love my Raptors, but I think the Celtics have the best team in the Eastern Conference all around.
Not by far, but...
No, not by far, but I think on paper they do. But the Raptors, if healthy and if consistent, have the best player in the Eastern Conference in Kawhi Leonard.
You think Kawhi Leonard is better than Kyrie Irving?
Yes.
I don't.
I believe so.
I don't believe so.
You do not find a guy that is going to give you over 20 to 25 points a game and give you the shutdown defense he gives you. You do not find that in the game. He is top 5 in the league for a reason.
Just the way that Kyrie Irving handles the ball. Listen, he can cross out Kawhi Leonard any day.
Well, he's not going to be guarding. They're not going to be guarding each other, so it doesn't matter.
Well, no, but I'm saying if they switch on each other and then they're matched up, that's a mismatch.
Are you sure? We haven't seen Kawhi Leonard a whole lot.
And you know what? I think that's a whole different topic for another podcast. But going back to that, so you see Boston first, obviously, then Toronto,
and then Philly. Not far behind. I think it's going to be a tight 1-2-3 finish.
I think it's going to be a toss-up between us and Philly.
That's why
Philly
I think
can
it's
easily
tight.
pass
It's
us.
going to be tight.
And fourth, I guess.
Honestly,
I'm going with the Washington Wizards. I've been preaching on them for a long time.
I think they're going to continue. I think Oladipo is going to continue to grow.
That's the only guy you're talking about on Indiana.
That's all they had last year, and they came, 5th?
Who else?
They didn't need it.
Okay.
And they took the King to 7 games. Okay. The Wizards came 8th.
Well, and then they faced us, and they almost, 6 games.
Well, we are the Toronto Raptors, and we are in the playoffs, so what do you expect? Well, with DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah. I think it's going to...
It's going to be very interesting. The thing that I'm trying to wait for is how Kyle Lowry reacts to this. On the court.
It's going to take him some time to get used to.
That's why I think the start of the year might be a little iffy for the Raptors.
Yeah.
Just because of
even
chemistry.
with the Leafs, too.
I don't know. Most of the players are the same for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
You lost 3 big players.
Okay, but what new guys in big situations are you throwing in there? Other than John Tavares.
No, but
right.
You're losing a lot of guys in big situations.
No, but I'm trying to say, you were talking about chemistry and stuff. Well, no, Kapanen's going to be in there. Your top 3 lines, other than Tavares.
No, but those were 3 big leadership guys in JVR, Komarov, and Bozak.
I agree, but we're talking chemistry,
well,
right?
Well, in chemistry, leadership is, chemistry.
You bring in John Tavares, captaincy material.
No, I get it, but I'm just saying, the amount of change the Leafs went through...
And you bring in our boy Parr. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I mean, the amount of change that the Leafs went through... You can't see them starting off... I mean, I could see them starting off a little slow, but Leaf fans, don't you worry, they're going to pick up. Or they could just surprise us all. Well, not really surprise us all and just go 82-0.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
The Golden State Warriors of the NHL or what?
Yeah. So if you want to quickly talk about next week's podcast, will I get the questions up?
Yeah. So next week, there's going to be no podcast.
None.
There's going to be no
We quit.
podcast. Evan is...
We quit.
Yeah, that's it, boys.
No, we're joking.
Evan is going to be away. He's on vacation for a week. He'll be back the following week. So next week, guys, there will be no podcast. And just watch. Just wait. Tuesday afternoon, there's going to be something big.
And then we're going to have to wait pretty much a week and a little bit.
Right, but our normal time would probably be right in, something big's going to happen.
Just our luck. J-Hap. Who else? What happened? Well, Greg Monroe was actually signed when we were on the podcast.
That's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, but usually...
Something big.
Exactly. Okay. Well, do you want
We're going to go to the questions here.
Yeah, we are going to go to the questions.
So, yeah, the following week, I'll do what I usually do, tell Evan on the podcast what's going on. So, it'll probably be on the Wednesday. Okay. It's normal time on the Wednesday.
Normal time.
So, next week, there's no podcast, guys. Just a heads up again.
Normal time.
The week after, it'll probably be Wednesday normal time.
Okay. So
here we are, questions. What do we got?
We got Habs fan named Spike.
Okay.
Sorry, by the way, that you're a Habs fan.
Yeah.
Sorry, I would kind of throw it.
I mean, we're a Leaf fan. What are we supposed to do?
I think you mentioned this in your Q&A back in the day.
Back in the day? Oh, that was a lot. It was like 100-something subs back in the day.
The Leafs, Jays, or Raptors, who do you like the most?
I can't choose. I literally can't. And I know everyone says, well, you got to have a favorite. Every time the Leafs and Raptors are playing, I miss baseball.
Yeah.
When the Jays are on, like right now, I miss the heck out of the Leafs and Raptors. It's that weird feeling, and I love talking about every single team.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's my answer.
Yeah, well, there's your answer.
I can't choose. I literally cannot.
All right, so we got Jen. How far do you think the Jays are going to be rebuilding if they trade away Stroman, Sanchez, etc.? Well, that's going to definitely slow down the rebuild.
If they trade Stroman and Sanchez, absolutely.
I shouldn't say slow down the rebuild because
it'll slow it down.
Well, slow it down.
I guess
rather
depending
get
what
a
they
better.
Get back.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess, but I don't think they're going to trade Sanchez just because he's younger than Stroman is, and he's like 25 instead of.
I thought he's older.
No, Sanchez is younger.
Oh,
he's like 25 and Stroman's 27 or something along those lines. I do not want them to trade Stroman. Just because of what he's meant to this team, and he's pitching very well as of late. I don't see, and he still has a couple more years of control. I don't know why you'd trade him, but we can't control that. Right. So, how many years do I see them contending if they do trade those two?
Well, no, not contending, rebuilding.
How long do I think they'll be rebuilding for?
Yeah.
So until they contend. Basically.
Yeah.
If they trade those two, 4-5 years. I think if you keep them,
contend, meaning contend for a playoff or contend
4 or 5
for a
years.
World Series. Because 4 or 5 years, you're contending for a World Series, even if you do trade those guys. That's a long time.
Well, contending for a wild card spot is not really contending for a World Series, is it?
No, but those are two. Are you talking about contending for a playoff
I think.
spot?
Okay, well, if we're talking playoff wise, 3 to 4 years. World Series 4 to 5, because you're trading away two. Bottom line, you look at the last few years. Stroman and Sanchez have been year 1-2.
So how about without trading these guys?
Without trading them, I think it's 2 to 3 seasons. I really do.
I think maybe 2.
I say 2 or 3 because I think I don't know if Bo Bichette's going to come up next year.
We have no idea.
So I think because you're going to have Vladdy up next year, and after he plays a full season, he'll probably be amazing, and Bo Bichette might even come up next year, and then you'll have a lot of the young guys up and playing. So I think it's about 2 to 3 seasons if they keep everybody around.
Right. Okay, Brooke. Out of the prospects that the Blue Jays have called up already, which ones are you most excited about? Have called up. So no Bo, no Vladdy J, or G.
G, Junior, whatever you want to call him. I've been impressed with a few different guys. And we haven't seen enough of Danny Jansen to I guess, say that he's my favorite. But what I saw from him last night, When you can throw a guy out, I'm just going to say it real quick here, that Danny Jansen, they tried to delayed steal on him, which is the pitch is already made, and then he decides to run. Jansen makes the catch, and then he decides to run, and Danny Jansen just gets to his feet and throws a dart right to second and gets him out. Beautiful. I love it. Haven't seen enough of him, but if I had to pick one, oh my goodness. I've loved Baraki, and I've loved Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I can't pick one. Those two have I love them both. Huh. That's my opinion on that.
All right, so we got Evan Stack.
Oh, not Shaq, bud? No. Not Evan Shack. Evan Stack. Okay, what do we got?
All right, so let's just say the Blue Jays re-signed Donaldson and Tulo is healthy for next year. What does the third base and middle infield depth chart look like?
Well, the middle infield depth chart, if they re-sign Donaldson and Tulo is back,
pretty good.
It's deep as heck, but I can't see it happening. If Tulo might come back healthy, which I think would help the team because I don't think Bo Bichette's ready yet. And I think he'll be able to mentor Lourdes Gurriel, which would be incredible. I just think it would be fantastic. I think if Tulowitzki can come back and show Gurriel and maybe even Bichette the ropes, having one of the best defensive shortstops in the game over the past little while, teach you defense, it's money.
So you would want them as mentors, like I've
Donaldson,
been saying.
No,
but Tulo, yeah,
because you don't need Vladdy to be mentored by anybody.
But Bo, you would?
Bo and Lourdes Gurriel, I think I'd love to have Tulo around to mentor those two guys. But we're going to have to wait and see.
Exactly. So we got Roderick B. Actually, this is an interesting question. What would your reaction be if the Montreal Expos returned to the MLB? I'm surprised.
First off, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I'm surprised that Canada hasn't... yes, it was a quote-unquote fail, the Montreal Expos, played in for 15 years?
Yeah.
But I'm surprised they haven't expanded to Vancouver because, guys, we love baseball. Canada loves...
Look when the Jays go to Seattle. It's the Blue Jays invasion because everyone from Vancouver and out west goes.
I'm surprised.
I guess because they don't have the facility.
Montreal has the facility.
It's not great. It's pretty rundown, I've heard. But, hey, you never know.
They have it.
They do have it. I just don't see it happening. Because you look at the past... Look. The Jays had that series. It wasn't even sold out. And imagine if the Expos play and they're no good.
Yeah, and plus for an expansion team, they're obviously going to go through rough times. I mean, not the Vegas Golden Knights, but most of them, right? So, I mean...
What would my reaction be? It would be...
Again?
Holy smokes for the first thought, and then, oh my god, we're going to have a Toronto-Montreal rivalry.
And holy smokes, maybe the Montreal Expos should not even make a trade with the Washington Nationals.
Maybe Mark Bergevin should be their GM too. That's all I'm going to leave it at.
Yeah. Why not?
He speaks French.
He could be the first hockey/MLB GM ever.
And Habs fans would love it. And
why not play Patch Reddy at shortstop?
That's a Mark Bergevin move right there.
Yeah.
We have to throw a little bit of Hab snot stuff in there.
Sorry about that, Habs fan. But
sorry about that. What's his name?
B. Habs fan named Spike.
Yeah, sorry about that, buddy. But as a Leaf fan, we got to do what we got to do.
Right. And then the final question, which isn't really related to Teal Sports, but it's an interesting question. Favorite NFL team, Teal Sports Talk, and Evan Brown.
Okay, you go first.
Start? The New Orleans Saints. I always loved them with the Reggie Bush days. Drew Brees was always the man. They finally have a defense after God knows how long of a terrible O-line, D-line. So... just make the tackle Marcus Williams against the Vikings. That's all I got to say about that. But mine's got to be the Saints. I always love the Saints.
Mine is the New York Giants. Yep, and I can't believe I picked a New York team. But it's just the way I've been over the last... seeing them kind of beat the Patriots, that's kind of like, you know what?
The first time or second time?
First time. The catch.
The
catch. And that right there, that game making them not go 16-0.
Who's that, Victor Cruz?
No, that was David Tyree.
David Tyree. Oh, yeah, the helmet catch.
Yeah, what a play. I mean, that right there was like, I like this team. And I've been following them hardcore ever since.
Now, was Eli Manning Hall of Fame worthy?
That's a question. That's a tough question.
But
he did win 2 Super Bowls.
And against the GOAT, Tom Brady, quote unquote.
Before last year, the Giants were the only team to beat Tom Brady.
Who's your favorite Giants player?
Right now?
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know Odell. I know, but hey, I have family in Penn State.
Right, there you go.
My aunt works at Penn State University, and I've watched Barkley through college. So come on.
So you've seen Saquon Barkley in person? Well, because
one time.
Really?
It was fantastic.
Because I know that you went to tailgate parties
Back in the day a little bit, yeah. Saquon Barkley.
That's all you got to say about
I love it. All right, well, that's going to wrap the podcast. A little bit of football talk to end off.
Love it.
So we really appreciate your guys' support every single week. Guys, I'll repeat it again. Next week, there will be no podcast.
I'll probably tweet it out, or you will tweet it out.
I'll probably tweet it out after the show.
Whatever.
And I'll probably actually tweet out tomorrow to kind of give people, because people will have time to listen to the podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I'll do that. So, not next week, but the following week, Wednesday afternoon, the next episode 26.
So it's going to be
will
late
uploaded.
August 20-something. We'll be
right near the August 31st deadline for baseball, so possibly a Jays trade might be in the looms of Curtis Granderson. He cleared trade waivers today. Okay. So that is that.
There we go.
All right, so we really appreciate your guys' support every single week, and this is going to be the first week we missed it. I'm going to miss it.
We're going to miss it.
But we're going to have a ton of talk about when we get back.
Definitely.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We really appreciate it. Like I said over and over, we really appreciate it, guys. Twitter's down below. Follow me. Follow Evan. Follow the main channel if you guys have not already. And we appreciate it. Hit a like on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the iTunes.
Did you shed a breath there?
I'm just trying to figure out.
And we will be talking to you guys.
There we go.
In 2 weeks. So, actually...
Yep.
Yeah, just search that date up. So, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday. So, that's the 29th?
Wednesday,
August
29th. 2 days away from the trade deadline.
Mark it down.
For baseball. And, mark that down on your calendar. Just do it. And Evan and I will talk to you guys then. I will talk to you guys later on tonight as the Jays game is underway in Kansas City. Thank goodness. As we said, they're up 2-0. Two fantastic ball clubs. Kansas City is an A-grade team right now. They're in contention for a playoff spot. All right, enough of the garbage. We'll talk to you guys in a couple weeks, hoping for some good things. 2 weeks of information, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. We'll talk to you guys then.
Peace.